A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India's semiconductor ambitions are accelerating, with the government approving 4 new projects under the India Semiconductor Mission, bringing the total to 10 projects, including 6 already in progress. The latest approvals include the nation's first commercial compound semiconductor fab and advanced glass-based substrate packaging unit, key milestones in building a world-class semiconductor ecosystem. With global interest growing and Semicon India 2025 on the horizon, India is steadily cementing its role as a trusted partner in the global chip supply chain. Take a look.
The India Semiconductor Mission, launched by the Government of India in 2021 under the Digital India program, is a strategic initiative to position the country as a global leader in semiconductor manufacturing and design. Its goal is to build a strong semiconductor and display ecosystem, reduce dependence on imports, and strengthen technological self-reliance. In a major push to India's chip-making ambitions, the government has approved 4 new semiconductor manufacturing projects under ISM. With a total investment of Rs 4,594 crore, these projects will generate over 2,000 skilled jobs and enhance the nation's capabilities in chip production, packaging and advanced materials. 2 plants will be set up in Odisha and 1 in Punjab and 1 in Andhra Pradesh, adding to the 6 projects already sanctioned. This takes the ISM portfolio to 10 projects across 6 states, with total investments now reaching Rs 1.6 lakh crore. A 3D glass semiconductor plant will also be set up at Info Valley in Bhubaneswar. The move is being hailed as a decisive step towards building a robust, self-reliant semiconductor ecosystem to power sectors ranging from defense to consumer electronics.
एक बहुत बड़ी सक्सेस देश को मिली है. आफ्टर मैनी डेकेड्स ऑफ एफर्ट्स भारत को ये सक्सेस मिली है. आज इस कड़ी में 4 नए प्रोजेक्ट्स सेमीकंडक्टर के कैबिनेट में अप्रूव हुए हैं, वो मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहूँगा. अब तक के जो 6 प्रोजेक्ट्स अप्रूव हुए हैं उसकी बहुत अच्छी प्रोग्रेस है एंड होपफुली विद इन नेक्स्ट फ्यू मंथ्स वी विल सी द फर्स्ट मेड इन इंडिया चिप कमिंग आउट ऑफ दीज कॉमर्शियल सेमीकंडक्टर यूनिट्स.
ये निश्चित रूप से उड़ीसा के लिए एक अच्छी बात है. सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री में हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. हमारा जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, हमारा पास जो इंडस्ट्री पॉलिसी है, वो आकर्षित कर रहा है इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को उड़ीसा में इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए.
The move is being seen as a milestone in India's journey to becoming a global semiconductor powerhouse. The combined support of the central and state governments is creating a competitive environment for advanced manufacturing, attracting global players and boosting investor confidence. This growing momentum is expected to spur innovation, create high-value jobs and position India as a trusted partner in the global semiconductor supply chain.
We are extremely excited that 4 more projects, which makes it 10 of them, in semiconductor fab and packing have now been approved with a very significant stimulus from the government and which is backed up by the appropriate state government also. India is emerging as a significant player in the semiconductor industry. We have also congratulated the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Minister Ashwini Vaishnav ji for his great leadership in making this happen. ICA is launching 2 forums to support the effort of the government, which is the Semiconductor Leadership Forum chaired by Dr. Randhir Thakur of Tata Electronics, and Semiconductor Design Forum chaired by Mr. Sandeep Kumar, the MD of L&T.
Adding further momentum, the Semicon India 2025 event will be held from 2nd to 4th September, organized by the India Semiconductor Mission in partnership with SEMI and leading industry associations. The event aims to position India as a trusted partner in the global semiconductor supply chain, showcasing emerging technologies, groundbreaking innovations and solutions shaping the future of electronics in India. With several strategic projects now in the pipeline, massive investments flowing in, and global partnerships taking shape, India's semiconductor dream is rapidly turning into reality, setting the stage for the nation to power the next generation of technology, innovation, and digital growth.
In a startling escalation, Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir has issued an open nuclear threat against India, not from Islamabad or Rawalpindi, but on US soil. Speaking at a private dinner in Florida, he warned that if Pakistan faced defeat in a future war, it would take half the world down with it. Linking the threat to water disputes, his remarks have drawn global condemnation as reckless nuclear blackmail and a grim reminder that Pakistan's arsenal remains in the hands of a military long accused of backing terrorism across South Asia.
Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir was in Tampa, Florida, attending events surrounding the retirement ceremony of the CENTCOM commander. What should have been a routine diplomatic engagement instead turned into an international flashpoint. But instead of a diplomatic exchange, the evening turned into an international security crisis. Munir warned that India's suspension of parts of the Indus Waters Treaty could lead to starvation for millions in Pakistan and threatened that any Indian dam on the Indus River would be destroyed with 10 missiles. Declaring that Pakistan had no shortage of missiles, Munir linked a bilateral water dispute directly to the possibility of a regional and even global nuclear conflict. The Indus Waters Treaty, signed in 1960 and brokered by the World Bank, is one of the few agreements that has survived multiple wars between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. But India's recent move to place it in abeyance was a direct response to Pakistan's decades of cross-border terrorism, from the 2001 Parliament attack to the 2008 Mumbai attacks to the 2019 Pulwama bombing and the recent Pahalgam massacre that led to the killings of 26 innocent lives. By bringing nuclear weapons into this dispute, Munir has further weaponized Pakistan's terror-driven hostility towards India.
I find it a very irresponsible statement, and I find it also, I beg your pardon for using this language for a general, but I find it stupid. You have an issue with India. Of course, you have a nuclear deterrence with India, which is for you, for Pakistan, the great equalizer. But at the same time, if you're threatening half of the world, which has nothing to do with it, I find that stupid from his perspective, because I think Pakistan is in need of more friends in the world instead of enemies. By threatening half of the world, I think he's doing his country a big disfavor. And a general who is all-powerful, who's a field marshal, I think he should use much more responsible language, especially when he is on the soil of a third country.
India's Ministry of External Affairs responded sharply, calling the remarks nuclear sabre-rattling and the stock in trade of Islamabad. Spokesperson Randir Jaiswal said the comments reflect the irresponsibility inherent in Pakistan's leadership and warned that such rhetoric only heightens global concern over nuclear command and control in a state where the military is in hand-in-glove with terrorist groups. That hand-in-glove relationship is no secret. Pakistan's military and its intelligence arm, the ISI, have for decades nurtured and deployed terror outfits Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Haqqani network as strategic assets. These groups have killed thousands across India and Afghanistan while enjoying safe havens inside Pakistan. Even Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden was found living undisturbed in Abbottabad, just meters away from Pakistan's premier military academy.
If you look at the recent statements of, for example, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, he has accepted this, that this has been part of Pakistan's, formation since the Afghan Jihad. And yes, in the Afghan Jihad, Pakistan supported Mujahideen at that time on the behest of the West. And afterwards, Pakistan started nurturing these terrorists in order to use it for its policy of strategic depth against India and against Afghanistan. And That Osama bin Laden was found in Abbottabad, I think that is now almost 13-14 years ago. Even then, the US has had a reasonably good relationship with Pakistan, because let's not forget, in this region, Pakistan is the US's proxy. And the US knew for a very long time that Pakistan was playing a double game. Pakistan was using funds of the US in order to nurture those terrorists which were fulfilling its policy of strategic depth against Afghanistan and against India. And at the same time, it was using those funds in order to counter those terrorists which at some point of time became anti-state of Pakistan.
Munir's Florida threat has also caused ripples in Washington. Michael Rubin, a former Pentagon official, compared his language to that of ISIS and Osama bin Laden.
And India is right to stand up for its rights.
He argued that Pakistan's status as a major non-NATO ally should be revoked and that the country should instead be considered for designation as a state sponsor of terrorism, a move that could freeze military aid and impose sweeping sanctions.
Pakistan's threats on American soil are completely unacceptable. Pakistan is raising questions in many people's minds about whether it can fulfill the responsibilities of being a state, or whether the time has come for it to end. In many ways, Pakistan's rhetoric, the field marshal's rhetoric, is reminiscent of what we've heard from the Islamic State and from Osama bin Laden. This should not stand. There is absolutely no reason anymore why the United States should consider Pakistan a major non-NATO ally. In fact, Pakistan may become the first major non-NATO ally to become listed as a state sponsor of terrorism on the same day.
Pakistan's generals have a long history of using brinkmanship to divert attention from domestic crises, whether it's political instability, economic collapse, or international isolation over their terror sponsorship. Analysts say this latest episode is a dangerous escalation of that playbook where desperation drives nuclear blackmail. It also signals to the world that Pakistan's nuclear arsenal is not in the hands of prudent statesmen, but of military leaders who have openly embraced terror groups as partners. In recent years, Pakistan's military has faced growing global criticism, from FATF scrutiny over terror financing to UN reports linking Pakistani soil to jihadist recruitment. Munir's outburst in Florida only reinforces the image of a nuclear-armed state whose greatest export is instability.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
India marked its 79th Independence Day with grand celebrations across the nation and abroad. Prime Minister Narendra Modi began the day at Rajghat paying tribute to Mahatma Gandhi before hoisting the tricolour at the Red Fort. In his longest ever 103-minute speech, he announced major initiatives like the ₹1 lakh crore Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana and praised the heroes of Operation Sindoor. Indian Air Force helicopters shot flowers, petals and carried banners, while the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign saw 4.76 lakh flags made by Varanasi women. The Indian Embassy in Kathmandu celebrated the Independence Day of India with a ceremonial flag hoisting and a vibrant cultural performances. Indian Ambassador to Nepal, Navil Srivastav, hosted the national flag during the event, which was attended by officials, dignitaries and the members of Indian community. Japan's economy expanded an annualized 1% in April-June quarter, government data showed on August 15, beating forecasts, though analysts expect the full hit to growth from US tariffs will not be seen until future releases. Resilient exports and capital expenditure underpinned the growth in the second quarter, likely supporting the case for the Bank of Japan to resume hiking interest rates and normalized monetary policy.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, decades-old promises to repair vital roads remain unfulfilled, leaving communities isolated and struggling. Locals say political favoritism diverts funds to select areas, while key routes serving tens of thousands remain in ruins. In several villages, residents endure poor access to markets, schools, and healthcare, deepening their hardships.
Across many parts of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, poor road conditions remain a daily struggle for residents. Despite repeated promises, no progress is seen on the ground.
मेरी पैदाइश से पहले 25 साल तकरीबन हो गए हैं, तो इससे पहले ही तकरीबन ये कच्ची रोड थी और आज भी ये उसी तरीके बिल्कुल खस्ता हाली है, इसकी बिल्कुल कच्ची रोड है और इसमें कोई भी जो है ना वो सहूलियात इसके ऊपर इसके साथ जो है तकरीबन 30,000 की आबादी जो है वो मुंसलिक है। इसके साथ एक गांव बांडी सईदा है, जो स्कूल है, सरबाना है और चुनैया के कुछ इलाके भी यहाँ से टच होते हैं। तकरीबन ये इस जो यूसी है हमारी यूसी चिनारी, इसका आधा हिस्सा इसके साथ मुंसलिक है।
Residents allege that members of the Legislative Assembly often direct schemes towards their political favorites in exchange for loyalty, resulting in substandard work. With little accountability, the public rarely benefits.
जो MLA साहब हैं, जो हल्के के मुख्तलिफ हल्कों के MLAs हैं, वो अपने मंजूर नज़र लोगों को जब फ़ंड्स दे देते हैं तो वो अपनी मर्ज़ी की जगह पे फ़ंड्स लगाते हैं। तो फिर ऐसी जो जगह होती है, ऐसी जो रोड्स हैं, वो बाज़ औक़ात MLA के मंजूर नज़र लोग ना होने की वजह से उसको इग्नोर कर दिया जाता है, जिसकी वजह से एक बड़ा इलाका जो है वो फिर सहूलियात से महरूम रहता है।
With essential infrastructure left in disrepair for decades, communities dependent on these roads continue to face daily hardships, underscoring the urgent need for transparent and accountable governance in the region.
India offers a vibrant tapestry of experiences for travelers, blending history, culture, and natural beauty. Among its most enchanting attraction is the Darjeeling Toy Train, a UNESCO World Heritage marvel. Chugging along narrow gauge tracks through mist-laden hills, emerald gardens, and quaint villages, this charming train ride feels like stepping into a living postcard. Take a look. The Darjeeling Toy Train, also known as the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, chugs along narrow gauge tracks through mist-laden hills like a whimsical ribbon of steam, whispering tales to the drifting clouds. This enchanting journey remains a timeless attraction, drawing visitors from across India and around the world to experience its old world charm and breathtaking vistas. Inaugurated in 1881, a time when British engineers dared to carve rail tracks into the Himalayas. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the toy train is a tribute to human ingenuity. It holds the distinction of operating the highest railway station in India, Ghum, perched at an elevation of 7,407 feet.
1881 में एक फुल फ्लेज रेलवे के रूप में हमारे सामने थी। शुरू में तो इसको सिर्फ माल ढुलाई के लिए ही यूज़ किया जाता था, चाय बागानों का लाइफलाइन हुआ करती थी उस समय ये रेलवे। लेकिन समय के साथ साथ ये चाय बागानों से ज़्यादा दार्जिलिंग के लोगों की लाइफलाइन बन गई और 1999 में ये विश्व की मात्र दूसरी ऐसी रेलवे बनी जो वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट थी।
The toy train at Darjeeling Station whistles nostalgia into the air as it begins its rhythmic uphill climb to Ghum. Midway, it pauses at Batasia Loop, a marvel of colonial railway engineering where the tracks spiral gracefully to navigate the steep terrain. Here, tourists step out to soak in breathtaking panoramic views of snow-capped Himalayan peaks, a magical moment where history and nature came together in perfect harmony.
बहुत 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 मतलब अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत ही खुशी हो रही है। सो हैपनिंग, मतलब इतना अच्छा व्यू, इतनी अच्छी अपनी टॉय ट्रेन, इतना अच्छा व्यू इसका हमारा दार्जिलिंग का। सो हैप्पी। सुना है बहुत, किताबों में पढ़ा है बहुत, लेकिन एक इच्छा थी कि हाँ देखे, यहाँ आके दिल खुश हो गया।
टॉय ट्रेन इज़ वेरी गुड एंड इट्स अ हेरिटेज ऑफ आवर कंट्री। और जैसे कि ये एक बहुत, दिस इज़ द हाईएस्ट घूम स्टेशन, राइट। एंड अभी हम जिस पे गए थे बतीसा पे, वो एक फौजी के ऊपर है ना, तो एक उसके ऊपर भी वो हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा वहाँ पे जाके। अच्छा मेमोरियल है वो, बहुत अच्छा बना हुआ है। और वहाँ पे भी कल्चर एक प्रेजेंट करता है पूरा दार्जिलिंग का।
The steam locomotive is a star attraction of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, and its upkeep is no small feat. That crucial task is handled by the Tindharia Locomotive, Carriage and Wagon Workshop, the engineering heart of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railways. Established over a century ago, this historic workshop keeps the legacy alive by restoring vintage steam engines, refurbishing elegant coaches, and showcasing models that trace the evolution of steam and diesel locomotives. A working piston model even reveals the magic behind the rhythmic jug, a tribute to motion, heritage, and craftsmanship.
Toy train comes here, then it goes to different shop, and different parts of toy train comes for repair. And in machine shop, we modify the different parts so that our the operator, sirs and all, they do the machine work. I help them and I assist them regarding their work. We follow UNESCO guidelines, and here work environment is very friendly. And women also, we take part, in previous time only the men used to work in the workshop, like do physical job or doing job in machine. But nowadays, women's also, here also we have many women in different shops.
At the heart of Batasia Loop stands the Gorkha War Memorial, honoring brave soldiers of the region. As the toy train rolls past, it offers a silent salute, a poignant moment of pride and remembrance. The journey ends at Ghum, India's highest railway station. Nearby, the Ghum Museum showcases the legacy of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway through models, photographs and artifacts. As part of its outreach, Darjeeling Himalayan Railway offers free rides to school children, inspiring the next generation to cherish this engineering marvel.
Main reason for the tourist attraction is due to the heritage trains we are running out here. You know, we are the structures, the architectural structures out here. All those are heritage structures only. So that has been the major reason.
In an age of high-speed trains and digital convenience, the Darjeeling toy train stands as a timeless relic, still puffing steam, still winding through the mountains, and still capturing hearts. It's not just about the destination, it's about the charm, nostalgia, and wonder it stirs along the way. Darjeeling's toy train offers a rare chance to step back in time. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.